use random numbers.
Namaste, dzień dobry, assalamu alaikum, ciao, bonjour, hola, good morning, good morning, good morning, guten Morgen. How are you? I hope you're well today. This is Ken at 10 with you as usual, talking about all things property here on Pinch Punch. First day of the month, 1st of February, 2023. Wow, that went quick, didn't it? I'm still getting used to the idea that it is 2023 and we're already in the second month. Good news is though, the dark days are behind us. Maybe not financially, it could be tough out there yet, but certainly physically, it's starting to get brighter and lighter, and that excites us. We like that. Seeing the first snowdrops out, lovely to see the flowers coming up, and springtime not far away. It does seem close, doesn't it? Much closer than it has been. It feels like a very, very dark time with everything negative that's gone on over the past few months as well. On top of the weather, it's just been like one thing after another, hasn't it? News today, what's going on in the property market? An article that I found that I thought was quite interesting was from a Conservative MP. Conservatives have been the really the people that have really hit small landlords so hard over the last few years. And this particular MP is talking about the government reforming legislation by reforming taxation. His name's Andrew Lewer, and he's a Conservative MP for Northampton South. And he's suggesting that he wants an overall increase in house building volumes in a bid to ease the mismatch between tenants and available rental units. But given that they've just scrapped targets for building 300,000 homes a year, I can't see how that's going to have much of an influence. But let's hope this guy's got some influence on them. Writing in the House of Commons magazine, obviously that well-read publication, he makes an eloquent case for reform, saying restrictions on mortgage interest relief and the imposition of stamp duty on the purchase of homes to rent out have indeed made life more costly for landlords. Landlords are seeing the cost of their mortgages going up quickly, and it becomes far more financially prudent to sell those homes rather than deal with the burdensome and indeed confusing job of managing buy-to-lets. He goes on to say, married to this, the uncertainty surrounding the government plans for the sector, whether in energy efficiency requirements or the ending of Section 21 repossessions, and you do not exactly have an attractive market. He wants the reform to begin with scrapping of the additional home stamp duty surcharge. He claims we'd see almost 900,000 new rental homes made available over the next decade, and that would lead to a £10 billion boost to government revenue through increased tax receipts. He also wants an unfreezing of the local housing allowance and greater security on future rental regulations to encourage long-term investments. And he adds, and I think this is the key one, and something that he's talking about and underlines is there's a myth in the rental sector that it's dominated by property tycoons. And in fact, individual landlords make up 94% of the market. That's right. Individual landlords owning just one property and 94% of the market share, with half letting just one property. And it says landlords cannot simply shoulder rising costs. I mean, of course, it's tough out there for tenants, but the point he's making is a fair one. And I do think that it's not going to resolve anything. They're not going to change anything. But I think it's the sort of thing that maybe 5 or 10 years from now, people will reflect back on and say, that Mr. Lewis, he knew a thing or two and nobody took any notice. But we'll say, or maybe even Ken at 10, who knows? I doubt that, but there we are. Homeowners in a fix. The pain for 2 million homeowners reaching the end of their fixed rate mortgage deals in 2023 might deter the Bank of England from raising rates much further. 80% of those customers are on rates of 2.5% or lower. Fixed rates are about 4.74%. And it's an interesting time because this week, actually tomorrow, is when they decide the interest rate, and it's going to go up again by the looks of things. The widely held belief is we're looking at a 0.5% raise. But one of the things that people aren't really talking about is the longer term trends. A lot of people have been asking me, not what is going to happen to rates in the short term, because I think there's a lot of publicity around the fact that they're likely to go up between 0.25 and 0.5% tomorrow. But the longer term prognosis, what's going to go on longer term. And I think what's going to go on longer term is we're going to see interest rates come down. That's what the swap rates seem to indicate, but not to the sorts of rates that we've been used to. So for all of you out there that are looking for the times when we go back to those 1% rates, those heady days, I don't think they're going to happen. And I don't think you should base your plans around that. Obviously not financial advice, but I do think we've lost those days of cheap money, and they're not returning anytime soon. So you need to base your plans and your decisions based on where they are now. Obviously for savers, it's a bit better news because of course, they will be able to get a better return, but even then it's not keeping up with inflation anyway. So it's not exactly the best news for the average punter anyway. So apart from that, busy day today. A couple of valuations this morning and then some meetings as well. As far as the lettings market is concerned, whatever onwards and upwards, madness out there. Not enough stock as usual. And we've got a lot of insurers still looking for accommodation. And this has become a real thing for us. I think what's happened is that we as an agency have got on the radar of the insurers through the terrible tragedy that was the Galpins Road disaster. And therefore, we're now, when we publish properties live, a lot of the time, they're actually approaching us or they're recommending their tenants to us, which is great. And we thank you very much. And it means that we have a ready supply of people that need to move pretty much immediately. And we're very thankful for that, as well as the fact that the wider market in itself is really busy. Really tough out there if you're a tenant, I must say. And you need to register earlier than ever to make sure that you have an opportunity to view things, because in some instances, we're literally putting things on, and then as soon as they publish, as soon as people see it hit the web, then there's viewings booked in to the extent that we can't actually take any more viewings, and then it's withdrawn, sometimes literally within hours, sometimes within the first half an hour. So my advice to you, if you're a tenant out there, it's really tough. All I can say is try and be patient if you can, and make sure you're registered on Rightmove and Zoopla for alerts, so that when a new property comes up to rent in the area that you want, that you're emailed immediately and you get the opportunity to phone that agent, book yourself in that viewing, and if necessary, drop work in that afternoon if it's possible for you to do so, so that you get the opportunity to view, because chances are by the next day, it's no good, it's gone, and then you're frustrated in the same position again. So apart from that, lovely sunny day here in Norbury. Looking forward to a good one. Hope you are too. Look after yourselves, and if you can, your family and friends. We'll be back same time tomorrow. Until then, ciao.